the sprinklers. They're sprinklers, and they're like these right here that you see. None of them had any water in them.
So Donald Trump is the president, but for how long? What I mean is, his term may be for 4 years, but how long before this goes?
Withdrawing from
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Okay, so in addition to his collapsing mental state, Trump is a dick. And those two together produce moments like this.
Thank you, sir.
What can we expect of the countries in NATO that spend the least amount of money, like Spain, France, below the 5%?
Spain is very low. And yet are they a BRICS nation? They're a BRICS nation, Spain. You know what a BRICS nation is? You'll figure it out. And if the BRICS nations want to do that, that's okay, but we're going to put at least a 100% tariff on the business they do with the United States. You know what the BRICS is, right? You guys know. You know what I'm saying, right?
He's such an a-hole. You see, Spain is not in the BRICS group of nations. BRICS is an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Now, I didn't know that, but I wouldn't pretend to. But Tiny Fingers was trying to prove he was smarter than the reporter and condescendingly said, "You don't know? You dick!" But this whole thing, it's going to get worse. Trump's mind is a cocktail of confusion, anger, paranoia, and cruelty. And it's headed south with a bullet.
Young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, young man, pick yourself off the ground. I said.
Does that look like a guy with a full bucket? And now that he's POTUS with one term left, the question is, can he handle the toughest job in the world with everyone just waiting for him to die?
I can't stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious and is leading the white working class to a very dark place. He's leading our political discourse to a very negative place.
You know J.D. Vance wants him to die. Why else would he eat so much shit and let his wife be humiliated?
J.D. Vance also has a non-white wife, an Indian wife, and a kid named Vivek. All his kids have Indian names. So it's like, what exactly are we getting here? And that's not a dig at him just because I'm a racist or something. But it's like, who is this guy really? Do we really expect that the guy who has an Indian wife and named their kid Vivek is going to support white identity?
Vance hopes and prays that the First Lady goes to bed one night and just doesn't wake up. I mean, who doesn't? But with Trump, it's more likely his ticket will be punched slowly and methodically over the years as his mind begins to look like a tuna fish sandwich you left in the car in August while you were on vacation.
I'm a never Trump guy.
So in the first few days, the First Lady has already proven to American workers that he is solely owned by President Musk. And Trump's not prepared to defend his 180 on HB1 visas, where he went from this.
Recently, the CEO of the Tennessee Valley Authority, Jeffrey Lyash, made a disastrous and heartless decision. The TVA announced that it would lay off over 200 American workers and replace them with cheaper foreign workers brought in from overseas.
To defending the H-1B visas with a crazy rant at the end.
Go ahead.
President, there's been some debate within your orbit over whether or not to keep or eliminate H-1B visas. What's your position on that? Do you want to keep H-1Bs or do you want to get rid of them?
I like both sides of the argument, but I also like very competent people coming into our country, even if that involves them training and helping other people.
Actually, it's the people who will be losing their jobs that will be training foreign workers as part of their severance. And here's where it gets good / crazy.
That may not have the qualifications they do, but I don't want to stop. And I'm not just talking about engineers. I'm talking about people at all levels. We want competent people coming into our country. And HB1, I know the program very well. I use the program. Maitre d's, wine, experts, even waiters, high quality waiters. You got to get the best people. Now, then you go into people like Larry, and he needs engineers, and Massa needs, and this gentleman needs engineers like nobody's ever needed engineers, right? So,
waiters and wine experts, we need to bring in foreign workers to wait on tables and drink wine. And engineers, there are over 2 million engineers in the U.S. right now. Trump sounds like a true dotard, fishing for answers in his mush of a brain. And the background on that is Musk needs H-1B workers to save money. And Vivek Ramaswamy believes that American workers suck because their parents suck.
In this post, Ramaswamy explained why he feels tech companies choose to hire foreign workers over Americans. He boiled it all down to, quote, culture. He wrote in part this: our American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long. That doesn't start in college, it starts young. A culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math or Olympiad champ or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers.
And there's a thing in the Constitution called the Emoluments Clause. The president shall receive for his services compensation, but he can't use the job to benefit himself. But listen to this.
Do you intend to continue selling products that benefit yourself personally while you're president?
Well, I don't know if it benefited. I don't know where it is. I don't know much about it other than I launched it. I heard it was very successful. I haven't checked it. Where is it today?
Hey, you made a lot of money, sir.
How much?
Several $1 billion, it seems like, in the last several days.
Several billion? That's peanuts for these guys.
Coincidentally, as we mourn Jimmy Carter's passing, it's worth the note that Carter put his family peanut farm in a trust when he got elected, as did Obama and Bush, but not Trump. And the billions he just made in crypto came after months of his championing what many people call a Ponzi scheme. So Trump stepped in and invested heavily, pushing the prices up and adding to his war chest. But does Trump really understand crypto in any way other than how he can profit from it?
And she wrote the most beautiful story you've ever seen. It was a love story.
You see, the real Trump is exposed when he stumbles and starts to lie. And January 6th, the day he incited an insurrection,
We're going to walk down to the Capitol. So this is January 6th. These are the hostages.
well, that's a day that will forever haunt him and his wavering mental acuity and his non-existent values and integrity.
You pardoned, though, assaulted officers. So I want to ask you about the Vice President, J.D. Vance. He said, this is a week ago, he said, if you committed violence on January 6th, obviously you should not be pardoned. Why is your Vice President wrong?
Well, only for one reason. They've served years in jail. They should not have served, and they've served years in jail, and murderers don't even go to jail in this country. And we had 1,500, we have 16 under review. As you know, we commuted about 16 of them because it looks like they could have done things that were not acceptable for a full pardon.
Okay, he's starting to lose it right here. He's caught in a lie between being for justice and serving his lunatic base, so he attacks the reporter.
So then if I can, among those you pardoned, DJ Rodriguez, he drove a stun gun into the neck of a D.C. police officer who was abducted by the mob that day. He later confessed on video to the FBI and pleaded guilty for his crimes. Why does he deserve a pardon?
Well, I don't know. Was it a pardon? Because we're looking at commutes and we're looking at pardons. Okay, well, we'll take a look at everything. But I can say this. Murderers today are not even charged. You have murderers that aren't charged all over. You take a look at what's gone on in Philadelphia. Take a look at what's gone on in L.A., where people murder people and they don't get charged.
Wow, he's insane. And it's just the second day.
Goddamn right.
Trust me.
Shut the f*** up, Darren.
Who's with me?
Oh, yeah, the lie.
Indictable.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
They're eating the dogs.
You're an idiot!
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.